All right. I want to switch gears and I want to look at Candace's involvement in this because I really think that here is my theory. I think that Candace Owens, so basically this whole thing started when Steven Crowder did a video saying that he was being extorted and pretty overtly accused Candace Owens of being the person who was kind of holding this over his head to say, Steven, I'm going to release this information if you don't shut the F up about the Daily Wire. So Steven Crowder did that video. I think it was really ill-conceived of him to even talk about his divorce publicly unless he knew that something was going to come out and he was kind of trying to get ahead of it. And he may have already known that this was going to come out. So he did that video. And then Candace Owens did this big thing responding and basically saying, Steven, I am not extorting you and you're going to get a cease and desist letter from my attorney. And she was a really big bitch about it. And I covered it on the channel for people who want to see it. And I think that when she made that first video, I think that she knew this was coming because it just reeks of like, this is just too perfect because it was like the very next day this news dropped and Candace Owens said in her stream yesterday that she knew something was coming out before it was released publicly. And I think it's really suspicious, regardless of Steven Crowder's behavior in that video. I think it's really suspicious that this obviously came from Steven Crowder's wife and her divorce lawyers. It went to a leftist journalist in Yasser Ali, and Candace Owens also seems to be the one that's just taking it and running with it and just reveling in this whole thing. It's just too perfect for me. And by the way, they released it on a Thursday, and on Fridays, Steven Crowder only does members only shows. So they knew damn well Steven Crowder wasn't going to comment on it today.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
So it's all
Candace
just
got inside scoop.
I think Candace may have orchestrated the entire thing
with Hillary's lawyer.
I think because in her clip that she did the other day, Candace made this big. She was like, Hillary Crowder, because your husband has besmirched you publicly, I just want to invite you on my show, Hillary Crowder, to tell your side of the story, Hillary Crowder. And it's kind of like Candace knew something was going to come out when she said that.
Yeah, I hope Hillary doesn't, because these two have children to raise together.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's really unfortunate. And so for me,
even if they divorce, and that's just terrible. Divorcing when you're pregnant with twins. Do they have other children?
Well, Kino actually, I didn't know this, but Kino actually says, is baby number 3 Steven? So is she pregnant like right now, or did she recently have another kid or something? Because I don't watch them, so I don't know anything about this. I really don't. Yeah. But that might be something that we look into. But so I want to know, what was Candace Owens' involvement in the releasing of this video?
Let's see. And say when?
Stop.
Let's see. Candace's involvement in the releasing of the video. Yeah, I think that she was tipped off.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you why. I mean, you have the victory card. So I think that she's very, very, very connected. And I do think that there are people that are around that she's really well liked by and really well respected. So there's that victory. I think that she made the decision that she's going to go out for blood against this guy. And that really was her key all along. King of Wands, interesting. This is like, a big personal vision. This guy might be the one who's involved. Somebody who might be think manager, or somebody who is bigger, perhaps involved in both of them. Maybe obviously somebody who Steven had crossed. And then you get 3 of discs. That's why I say with 3 of discs, I do think there was a third person involved. I think he was a fiery person. And I think that she's made some phone calls. Yeah, I think that she there's something about Steven that I don't know what Steven did to her, but she is on the warpath. No doubt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. So Candace knew.
I think that she knew with the victory card, because that victory card is ruled Jupiter and Leo. Leo has to do with light. Light has to do with knowledge. I'd be very surprised if she didn't get some insider knowledge before it was leaked.
Okay, follow-up question. Jeremy Boring is the CEO of the Daily Wire. Back in January, Steven Crowder released a phone conversation that he had with Jeremy Boring when they were in contract negotiations, basically trying to make Jeremy Boring and the Daily Wire look really bad, like they're taking advantage of their talent, and he leaked all this information about the contract, and then there was a very public feud between Steven Crowder and Jeremy Boring. And so what I want to know is, did Jeremy Boring know this video was going to come out, and did he have any involvement in it?
Do you happen to know if Jeremy Boring is a fire sign, Aries or Leo?
I don't know. Can someone look up Jeremy Boring's birthday in the chat? That'd be really helpful.
And you wanted to know if Jeremy Boring was involved in the release?
I want to know, essentially what I want to know is, we already know that Candace was involved according to psychicking. So take it for what it's worth. He's a psychic. He's a psychic. Okay. But like, so don't like, I like, this could be conjecture and gossip and all that. But like, so we already know Candace was involved. I want to know if the Daily Wire and specifically Jeremy Boring also knew what was going on.
The release of the video is what you mean, right?
Yes, the release of the video.
So did the Daily Wire and Jeremy Boring know that this video was going to be released? Is that correct?
Yes.
The Daily Wire and Jeremy know that this video will be released. Yeah. And say when?
Stop. His birthday is February 5th, by the way.
Oh, he's not. Steve. Okay, Jeremy Boring is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's Crowder? Do you remember Crowder?
Can someone look up Steven Crowder's birthday, please?
Yes, I do believe that Boring and the Daily Wire knew this was going to happen.
Smear campaign by the Daily Wire. What did I say last night?
I very much think so. Because look, we get 3 major Arcana cards in a row.
Mm-hmm.
3? Judgment, hearing the call. They knew what was going to happen. Hermit, being quiet about it, but guess what's going to happen? I think this is going to drop today. Something along those lines, right? And then you get the Chariot. Victory. No, I think that he crossed them and they're like, yeah, he's not able to make many. This is the thing. I feel like they're crowding around Crowder. And what I mean by that is, it seems like he's done certain things that they're like, yeah, well, he's going to pay for it. He's not going to be able to move an inch without somebody being there every step of the way, doing what they can to make life uncomfortable for him. This is definitely like a hard control issue, according to our cards.
This is revenge for Steven Crowder releasing the recorded phone calls with Jeremy Boring in January and then making them all look like jackasses when Steven Crowder had a brilliant performance on Tim Pool and Candace Owens had a horrible performance on Tim Pool. And this is revenge. I said it last night, and now the psychic is backing me up. This is revenge. Mark my words.
I think so. Absolutely. I don't think you get 3 major Arcana cards in a row, which has to do with destiny and fate. And really, if you think about it, Steven did make his bet. If he was the one who,
yes.
Right. So, I mean, that's
We're not saying that Steven Crowder is an innocent little like victim in this situation. He participated too, but this is a revenge smear campaign against Steven Crowder from the Daily Wire.
Yeah. The judgment card has to do with comeuppance. So, and I think that they definitely, I think that Steven injured quite a few people with those releases. I don't think that was something. I think that even though from a broader perspective, like, oh, he released these things, he made the Daily Wire look like crap or whatever, sure. But I think that we're underestimating the individuals who were involved in the releasing of those tapes, is what I get.
Steven Crowder's birthday is July 7th.
Oh, he's a Cancer.
They're always cancers, aren't they? All the influencers are cancers. Pretty much, they are.
All what?
All the influencers are cancers. Okay, maybe just like 2 of them are cancers.
Well, what's interesting is cancers very rarely are they direct. It's like the crab. They walk sideways. So usually they're more manipulative or passive aggressive than directly confrontational. So Crowder must have maybe an Aries or a fiery ascendant or something. Do you know what I mean? Because very rarely is a Cancer going to go directly and attack their opponent. Do you know what I mean? They'll screw them almost to the point of Scorpio. I mean, Scorpio, when they get so upset, they get really, really mad and they go ballistic. But Cancer might be more the type that they'll get you, but you won't see it coming. They'll hold on to what they need to do, and they'll fuck you when you least expect it. You know what I mean?